Alright, today I'm going to start a new project. I got a pile of metal sitting here. I'm going to make myself a lift for lifting logs up onto the back of my truck. That's what she's going to end up being. Time to start cutting, grinding, and putting it together. Okay, now I got my center pulleys put together, centering them up on my top pipe. Time to weld it on. And there's my center pulleys welded on. Now I got to put on a ring so that I can put my pipes onto it. But I got to cut the ring, drill holes in the side, and then weld it on. Okay, that's those pieces welded on. Note I welded them from the inside so that my pipes will slide on with and butt all the way up against the top bar. Okay, next I take my sliding T-bevel, set it for the angle on the end, and I just flip it over, match angle on the opposite side. That way it'll sit on the corners quite nice. I gotta cut that off. Same thing with that one, cut that one off. Those are going to be my diagonal braces. Okay, here's my top bar. As you see, putting my uprights, just using a couple of heavy teleposts. And they should just slide straight on, like so. Now I'm going to drill that out, throw a 1/2 inch bolt through there. Same thing on that side, run a 1/2 inch bolt through. My diagonal braces, the first one is cut. They're going to go like that in the top corners. I'm going to put little tabs and drill 1/2 inch. The same thing on this side, that way it can come apart and move easily. Okay, now I gotta put that thing into the side of my pipe so I can attach my cable to it. The issue is, how do you hold that and get a nut on the back side of it at the same time when the thing's 12 inches in on the pipe? You're not going to hold that with a wrench. So the solution is, you crazy glue a nut to the end of a piece of rod, you tighten it down, and once you get it super tight, the crazy glue snaps off, and then you can slide the pipe in up against the nut. Okay, my glue is all set up, so I can pick the nut up and feed it in, and then line it up on the back end of there. There it is. The rod is snapped off. My bolt is on there. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but the nut is in there. I can't pick it up. Too dark. You don't have to trust me on that. It's in there. And there are my two uprights, bolted together. This one I still have to make my mount for the winch, right about there. And I got to finish up my top, put the legs on, away I go. Alright, I'm just using some of the offcuts. Gonna be cutting it down here, cutting it off nice, and I'll be using that, just cutting them in the vise, and those will make my triangle mounts on the top brace. Okay, now in order to get my holes to line up, I pre-drilled the holes in my outer tabs, clamp them together in place where it's going to be, marked it up, and then I do a pre-drill or a pilot hole on my angle piece. I'm going to do the same thing on that one, and then I can put the bigger holes into it. Once I have my pilot hole done, everything will be centered. Now as my vision's starting to come into focus. The end of my cable will fasten on here. It'll go up to this pulley. It'll come down to a block and tackle. It'll go back up to that pulley, and it'll come down to a winch over here. There's my winch sitting where it's supposed to be. So in theory, between the eyelet and the winch, I have 42 inches. I'd be able to lift up a log 42 inches in diameter. That's going to be heavy. Alright, I've welded the top tabs on my cross braces. Got them tacked in there. My uprights are all bolted, ready to be flipped over. I got a drill. I got a pilot hole drilled in this one. I'm going to do the same thing on the other one. That way they'll not move. I throw a bolt in there part way so I can flip it over and they won't move. Alright, that's it for the day. Tomorrow I'm going to mount my winch, run the cables, and then build the legs. Should be done. Okay, I got it temporarily tied to one of the beams in the garage. I've welded part of my foot together. Just used another piece of pipe, welded that. Now I'm going to go from here on the diagonal to the foot. Once that is done on both sides, then I just clean it up, paint it, and she's good to go. Alright, that's the first leg tack welded in. Time to start on the next one. Okay, time to make a mount for my winch. So I'm going to set down a piece of metal, cut her off there. I need double that length, and then I'll split that in the center this way so I can weld them on the back side. Weld it to the back side of it, and I can weld them to the side of my legs. Okay, there's my winch mount made up. So I get relatively square to everything else. I'm going to square it off to the ground. It should be relatively square. Now I just got to weld the mount to the vertical pipe. I'll be good to go. That is the winch mounted, welded in place. There it is. My vision is complete. My next video will be of it in operation. Alright, there she is in action. Lifted the front end up onto the truck already. Yeah.
That nut started coming loose.
Alright. She's going.
You don't have that wrench?
Yeah. There it is. Hog is on the back of the truck. Time to dismantle and head home.